Welcome back to my kitchen for another recipe video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite air fryer recipes that I've been making lately. So of course you can make these in an oven if you don't have an air fryer, but air fryers are just so convenient, they're so quick, and they crisp things up so nicely. Today I'll be showing you how to make chickpea falafels, seasoned and roasted veggies, smashed garlic potatoes, shredded tofu and black bean tacos, and pizza. Yes, you heard that right, pizza from fresh dough in an air fryer. So how does it work? Well, this is actually a pretty unique air fryer that I've been using for a little while now, and it's actually today's video sponsor. So before we get into the recipes, let me tell you a little bit about the Typhur Dome 2 air fryer, and then we will get into the cooking and the eating. After using it nearly daily since I got it, I can honestly say this is the best air fryer I have ever used. It's got 360-degree heating technology and dual heating elements on the top and on the bottom. This means it cooks your food really evenly without having to mix it up a bunch or flip it. It also cooks food much faster. Because of its shape, you can cook a ton of food in it. I can cook both my tofu and veggies for dinner in it side by side. And it also fits right under your kitchen cupboards, making it so convenient, and having it there has made me use it so much more. It has 15 functions, including baking, grilling, roasting, broiling, and more. Whether you're making crispy air-fried tofu, potato wedges, pizza, or roasting veggies, it's got you covered. Being non-stick means it's really easy to clean as well, and it also has a self-cleaning function that heats up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, breaking down grease and grime. No more scrubbing or leaving your air fryer dirty. This thing is cutting edge. It also has an app that lets you customize the presets. Another thing that I love about the Typhur air fryer is that it is so quiet. You hardly notice it running in the kitchen. I have this decibel reader on my phone, and it shows that it's only around 57 to 58 decibels, which is only a tiny bit louder than your average household refrigerator. This is especially great for me because I don't like a lot of noise in the kitchen, but it also means that I can have it on while I'm filming and the mic doesn't pick up a ton of noise. So if you are interested in checking out the best air fryer that I've ever used, check out the Typhur Dome 2 air fryer in the link in the description box down below and use my discount code Derek10OFF for 10% off your purchase. You will not regret it. All right, let's get to these recipes. First, I'm going to show you these chickpea falafels. They are so delicious, they're really healthy, and extremely easy to make. So for this recipe, you will need a food processor or a blender. You could probably do it by hand if you wanted to mix some stuff up with your hands and chop it up really small. Food processor works best. So let's start by draining a can of chickpeas and then add that to the food processor along with 1/4 cup of parsley, 1/4 cup of cilantro, half of an onion, 3 garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of coriander, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And then you just want to blend all that together in the food processor. So once it's blended up enough, it should form pretty easily into sort of balls or patties or whatever shape that you want to make them into. So I'm going to kind of make them into these flattened out balls or small patties. And then to cook these, I'm going to actually be doing it right on the bottom of the air fryer basket. So I'm just going to be removing this grill. And then I'm just going to cook those at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And then once they're done, they should just be nice and golden brown and crispy and ready to eat. So I'm gonna be having them with some of this homemade tzatziki. Man, that is one good falafel, especially considering it's not deep fried, doesn't have any oil in it or anything, and you saw the ingredients, they are so healthy. So while these are good on their own and with the homemade tzatziki, I think it would be a little bit better with some veggies on the plate. So I'm actually gonna make the next recipe and then add it to this. And I think the one after that is gonna complete this and make it like a really good meal. So let's get moving on these roasted veggies. So I know this next recipe isn't like cutting edge or anything, but I think it's a really good way to have veggies. And I love having like a whole bunch of mixed veggies with my meals, especially when they're cooked perfectly and just nicely seasoned. So I'm going to show you a bunch that I'm going to be putting together here and then throw them in the air fryer, cook them up, and you'll see how good they turn out. So I'm going to start with some chopped onion. And you don't have to worry too much about how this stuff's chopped up, just a really rough chop. It's meant to be quick and easy. Some mushrooms, zucchini, bell pepper, and then I've got this red cabbage in the fridge. I need to heat this up, so I'm going to throw some of that in as well. Asparagus, and then some frozen broccoli. I find that if you try to cook fresh broccoli with this, it just cooks too fast, but frozen broccoli actually works perfectly. So I've got all that into a bowl. I'm just gonna add a touch of water and mix that up. This is just so that the spices stick. And then I'm just gonna eyeball this and mix in some onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, cumin, and some pepper. And then I'm gonna wait until it's all cooked to salt it. Once that's all mixed up, I'm just gonna pour that into the air fryer basket, pop it into the air fryer, cook it at 325 degrees for about 17 to 20 minutes. So that is one big plate of perfectly cooked veggies. So let me give it a quick try. I'll just take a random stab at it here. So good. Oh yeah, I didn't even add any salt. Could definitely add a little bit, but it's so flavorful, you really don't need any. If you are trying to get more veggies in or trying to like watch your calories a little bit and just eat more voluminous food that's not so calorie dense, this is definitely the type of stuff that you want to be filling your plate up with. Air fried asparagus is so good. All right, I'm gonna put that aside and let's move on to the next recipe. So to make these delicious garlic smashed potatoes, the first thing I'm gonna do is just pop some of these nugget potatoes into the air fryer and cook them for 20 minutes at 325 degrees. So while that's cooking, I'm just gonna quickly make some garlic butter. And to do that, I'm gonna start by melting some of this Miyoko's cultured plant-based butter, and then add in 3 cloves of grated garlic and some finely chopped green onion. And now that the potatoes are done, I'm just gonna take those out of the air fryer, put them on the cutting board, and smash them with the back of a mason jar. So you could use anything to smash them, but I find this works really well. And then slather on some of that garlic butter. I'm just using this silicone brush that I have for that. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of black pepper on top and pop those in the air fryer for another 7 or 8 minutes. These look and smell unreal. Let's see how they taste. Wow, there are a ton of ways to make potatoes, but this has got to be one of the best. So check this out. This is what I was thinking with the first 3 recipes that we made here. It makes a pretty nice meal. So we got the falafels, the veggies that we cooked, some potatoes, and then that tzatziki. Next, let's make these tofu and black bean tacos. So I'm gonna start with a block of extra firm tofu, and I'm actually going to grate it. This is a really unique way to use tofu, and if you or somebody you know doesn't like the texture of tofu, then they'll probably like this because it's not like big chunks of tofu. And it actually looks a lot like cheese when you're grating it, but this means that it's gonna have tons of surface area to collect and hold on to all the flavors and everything. And it also gets kind of crispy too, which is good. So I'm just gonna pop all this into a large mixing bowl, and then I'm gonna add a can of strained and rinsed black beans. And then I'm just gonna chop up a few veggies, 1/4 of an onion, and a bit of bell pepper. And then a package of taco seasoning. Of course, you can make your own if you want. It's really easy to make, but this prepackaged stuff is actually pretty good. And then once it's all mixed up, I'm just gonna fire it into the air fryer at 325 degrees for 20 minutes. So this turned out great, and this is basically gonna be like the taco meat. So let me give it a try before I make these tacos. Wow, yeah, so good. So I honestly don't think that these tacos are gonna take too much. I think this filling is just so flavorful, and it's already got some veggies in there and the black beans and everything. So I'm just gonna pile that in, and then some salsa, and then just some fresh cilantro. And I think that's gonna be perfect. All right, so there's no way this isn't gonna be messy, so turn away if you're squeamish. Yeah, that filling is perfect. It's like got a little bit of crispiness to it, but it's also like chewy and just packed full of flavor from that seasoning. This is really good. All right, so I saved the best for last, the pizza. So I absolutely love everything about pizza. I love making it. I love the smell of it cooking. I love eating it. And it's especially fun to make when you make it from dough. And that's what you're gonna be doing here. So this is the dough that we've been using lately. It comes frozen, actually. It's in the freezer section, and then you just kind of pop it in your fridge a day before you want to use it, and then you just pull it out, let it get to room temperature, and then it's like this. So I'm definitely not a professional at making pizza from scratch like this, so don't judge me, but I have watched a few tutorials and I've seen different techniques, and I kind of use a combination of all 3. So the first thing that we have to do is put some flour down on the cutting board. And then I like a little flour on my hands as well. It feels like I'm chalking up at the gym. So what I learned is the first thing you want to do is kind of punch out a crust. And then you don't want to really touch that area too much, or at least flatten it out once you get that. So I just kind of move it around and kind of push my fingers and make an indentation where there's going to be a crust. All right, then once I have the indentation of the crust, I just kind of like to pick it up and just kind of spin it around in the back of your hands a little bit, and it starts to stretch itself out. It gets a little bit hectic, and then kind of plop it back down, and in areas where it needs like stretching out more, I just kind of use my hand to stretch it out like this. So this is what I mean where I kind of use like a bunch of different techniques. I am not a professional. All right, you know what? For me, that is good enough. I know it's gonna taste good, and I'm sure it's gonna look fine in the end. So what you have to do next is actually preheat this air fryer so that the bottom burner heats up as well. So to do that, I just have to hit the pizza button, and then I wanna set it for 390 degrees for 20 minutes, and then you just press start and it preheats. Then once it's preheated, I drop the dough in, then I wanna add the sauce, spread that out, and then a little bit of this Dea mozzarella. You really don't need much of this vegan cheese, and I just love like a veggie-filled pizza, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of this. And then I've got a bunch of toppings already chopped up, so I have some asparagus, some mushrooms, bell pepper, olives, red onion, and tomato. All right, so as you can see, the toppings cooked perfectly, and the crust, oh, also perfect. Look at that. Let's do the old knife test on it. Dang, that is one perfect pizza. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Look at this pizza. It's so perfect. Oh, let me get into this. You can probably hear the crunch. Wow. Unbelievable. One of life's greatest pleasures right here. Man, I love pizza, and this is honestly like the best pizza I've ever had. Every time I make it at home with that dough, make it myself, I say this. It's like better than any store-bought pizza, any restaurant pizza I've ever had. Wow. All right, so I guess that's it for today's video. What a way to finish with my favorite meal ever. So thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to Typhur for sponsoring this video and for making such an amazing air fryer. I was so happy to partner with them, especially once I found out all about this air fryer. It is incredible. So if you are interested, definitely check out the link in the description box down below. I will see you soon with another video. Definitely like and subscribe to the video, and let me know what you thought of these meals in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Crystal, you've got to try this pizza. It's unbelievable.
Good job on the crust. It's so thin.
It's perfect. Out of 10, what do you think?
10.
10 out of 10.
If you want to make your healthy meals taste even better, check out my latest recipe ebook, Easy Vegan Dressings and Sauces. There's 35 amazing oil-free recipes in there that are sure to transform any meal. There's a link in the description box down below.